Hey people. So it's Tuesday, today the 22nd, I believe. I don't know what time it is. Maybe getting close to 7 o'clock, 6:30, I don't know. It's beautiful out though. It was 72 degrees when I checked. It looks like most of the country was hot. I feel for you people. I saw the bulk of the country was like in the 90s and feel like 115 with humidity. It's 72 here and feels like 70 because of the wind. It's low humidity today. It's beautiful. But intent was to make a video today on a new thought that I woke up to. And these thoughts are kind of rare to me. Like I seem to dream them. Like I wake up to them. I'll wake up and I'm like thinking about something. Like I'm right in the middle of something I was like dreaming, and the thought sticks to me. And I usually, lately, the last few of them that I did on here, I kind of just, I just freestyle it, man. I don't write anything out or nothing or have a script or nothing. I just come out here and talk, man. And I'm debating on this one. This one seems like a pretty good topic. I'm kind of debating if I should maybe put a little more time and effort into it. Because I've noticed on all my other videos that I do, I'll watch them myself and I watch them back, and I'll think of like literally like dozens and dozens of words that I didn't think of like right in the moment and stuff then, and like could have added to it and made it showed a lot more links and examples, like I could have solidified my position, I guess, or my idea a lot stronger if I'd have spent more time on it, which I still may. I think like I see those, I'll probably remake those topics, those videos. So I'm debating if I'll actually post this one or maybe just call it like take one, like a trial run for me to watch back myself and then kind of re-add to it. And I don't know if I can do a script. It doesn't feel real. Like if I can come out and like do like a, like a scripted, like just read something that I wrote. I don't know why I don't do it. I can't seem to write, people. I'm telling you, I can't. I'm good with words, but I can't really write them. I'm more about absorbing them and thinking about them, and things come to me, and it's really hard for me to express to other people the things that I pick up and feel and see. It's easier for me to talk about them. That's why I'm doing this. I can just sit and freehand talk about it, but I'm gonna miss a lot. So I'm not real sure. I'm going to debate what to do. So I'm just going to do it, right? Like I'm just going to start going, and we'll see what happens. So today I woke up and I'm thinking there's 10 feet to a story. And for some reason in my dream, I think there was something going on where I was like climbing or jumping down, hanging down and falling from like one story to the next or something, getting out of some building or something. Like something was happening. And there's like 10 feet to a story. And when I woke up, it struck me because the words fit a lot of the theme of some of the other thoughts I've had lately. So 10 is obvious. It should be, right? If you've seen some of my other videos, how 10 relates to the pinnacle, the peak, tine. We get it from Zen. It's basically teen, tine, pinnacle, peak, climax. It's the best on a scale of 1 to 10. And it fits into be a 10, Beaten, which is beaten, or be a 10, like be the pinnacle, or beaten, which was like the Christ was beaten. And we have your heart is beating, right? Beating, which is battery, a cell, right? And love is defined jail, Jaol, is a jail, or also connection. Love means connection between all things, like the connection between everything. Which in a way, if you think about it, that is kind of a jail. You're stuck. Like if you're in jail, you're stuck. You're locked up. You're bound, and everything is stuck together. We're all bound together, in a way. It's just it just depends how you look at it, right? If you're looking at jail with a prison with this like I'm coming from some negative space. No, I'm not in prison. I'm free, kind of like. But it's not. It's like I bet you, I got this feeling that the person that says that, you also think that we're all connected, right? So, I mean, just think of it that way, just being stuck together. We're all in it together, you know? And then also, it's the word pre-sun, like before the Christ, like pre-sun, like before he's risen, you know what I mean? It's basically evening, pre-sun is the night. Before the sun is the moon, or the night. And the moon is Suin. And Suin, to sue someone, Suin means to bring charges, right? To bring charges, battery, beaten, right? 10 feet to a story. So we'll go further. We'll just go with that right now before it even loses my train of thought, but I don't want to lose people. But to bring charges, right? Suing. So to sue someone, also to bring charges, it's the word lice, L-I-S, lice. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Latin. Lice pendens or lice pendens. To bring like a suit against someone. But lice means to bring charges. And 10, right? Because we're dealing with 10 feet to a story. Lice plus 10 is listen, right? That would be, you hear something, you listen, L-I-S-T-E-N, listen. Or a list of 10, right? We all know that there's a common list of 10 commandments or like rules or guides. So what else is a listen? When you listen, you're hearing, right? It's a hearing. What else is a hearing? Well, a hearing is a trial. What else is a trial? A trial is a test. And what else can you call a test? It can be a level, right? And then like if you are going through like stages on something, stages, or it can be a feat. A test of something is a feat, right? So 10 feet to a story. Listen, hearing, list 10, hearing, 10 feet to a story, right? Feats, tests, trials, 10 rules. So, what else? What else is if you heard something? Well, I just said it. If you heard it, what else does that mean? If you heard something, you gather it, right? You hoard it. If you heard and hoard, same word, right? You hoard it, herd it up, hoard it up. So, to hoard something is to hold on to it, to gather it. So we're, like I said, prison, love, jail, connection, bound. What else does bound mean? Well, that's your word, right? I give you my word. It's a promise. Pro plus mise. What's mise? If you mise something, you herd it, you hoard it, right? So we can see now, 10 feet to a story, 10 feet, test stages, words, promises, 10 promises, things you were bound to. What else are feet? Feats besides test stages and trials. And we can see how that gets there. And you know where it gets further. I mean, you can, to mise. It's misery. To hoard something is misery. That's also the exact same word as misery. That's the same word as misery, misery. They also relate to the same word hoard. And hoard, because whore is mare. Mare, like a nightmare, which is water, or lakes, seas. Seas, really. And how else? So that's whore, or if you hoard. And how else do you hoard? It's misery, misery. So nightmare is also, mare is a definition to being in misery, or in whore, misery. Basically the same type of words, like if you get a thesaurus, like they're pretty interchangeable words. Yeah, but mare also means see. Don't forget that, because that comes in important too, to see. And it comes, literally it comes back, go for phrase, from mirror, M-I-R, mirror, to mirror, because you see, it's reflects, water reflects. That's where we get the word mirror, from the sea. You see yourself in it, a reflection in it. We also get to Mary, I believe, from it. You get like Stella Maris, the Virgin Mary, the star of the sea, basically. And I'm just looking at the sea too right now while I'm thinking a little. Is that right? But we're back to, we got 10 feet, right? So what else are feet besides these tests and trials, which relate to the, we can see how they can relate to the list of 10, to the 10 sins, and to the word or the promise, the bond that was made. We see feet have souls, right? Your feet are, when you stand on your feet, you're on your soul. You're on your souls, the soles of your feet. So, we all know how souls relates to what we've already covered, right? There's no need to really go much into that. But what else are souls? If you're sold, if you put shoes on your feet, or if you're sold, that's a sail, right? You can sail on the sea, right? A boat can sail on the sea, on the mares. A sail is considered a bargain, a bar gain bars, prison, right? A bar gain. Also, bars have other meanings too, like you can spit bars, like lyrics, words. It's words, basically, right? Word is promise or a bond. Bars, it's prison, jail, love, connection. All right, so you got bargain, sale, sell. If you sold it, sell it, right? We're back to sell. Battery. Battery means to be beaten, be a 10. And don't forget what else. A10. A-T-E-N, A10, be A10. A10 is considered the sun, like really, really old. If we look back at like ancient Egypt, the gods they worshipped, A10 was the sun. And if you look, it's very similar story to the Bible, to Jesus, like to the sun. It's a very similar. And it's represented with the the eye, right? The eye and the same as Horus. They're basically like based off the same thing, the same story too. They're basically the same god, like interchangeable. El, Horus, A10. Horus, right, is just a play on the whores, the seas, the mare, the eye. And hours, it's an anagram of hours. You can just see how you can pronounce it, hours. Which is ours, like mine and yours, right? Because I comes from J-E-G, J. Literally means I, like in your eye, that's in your face, in your head. But it also means I, like me, I. And it means you, and it means we, and us. So, you've got Horus, right? Hours, which can also, we measure those, right, with a watch. That's another thing you do with your eye, right? You watch, you see, watch. And if you see something, that means to be present, or it's present, or if you see something, it basically means to reveal it, to make it known, to make it present, which is also a gift, right? To be present is a gift, but it's also now, like it's right now. Now, gift, present. So, you can see how we're getting further here still, just from this 10 feet to a story, right? So, go a little bit into story now, right? Although I don't think we're done with 10 or feet yet, but we'll go a little bit into story. So, what's a story? right? Well, one thing it's height. It's to measure. It's to weigh, to measure. Which links to what we've already covered. It does, because when you see atone and Horus actually links. There's a guy. It's called. It starts with an X. So I think it's still pronounced Horus. It could be Zorus, which goes into Zoronos and Kronos, and it's all the same story again about eating his children, or A10. That's what the older. It's kind of all the same. You'll see that they blend together. They stem from the same words, literally. So story is to measure, right? Chronos, chronological, to catalog something, or it's called. That's where we get words like chronometer and stuff like that, right? It's to measure time. That's why it's father time. It's the watch, the sea, right? So stories about measurement is one thing. Story is generally it's a tale, right? The story is interchangeable. You tell a story, or it's a tale. And tale is interesting, right? One thing that comes to mind right away, an easy one, like one of the more obvious ones, just go right into it. It's about 10 feet to a story, 10 tests or trials, right? So you can think of the dragon eating his tail here with this scenario. There is the 10 sins. Okay, if we think about the sins, sometimes they are represented with the dragon, right? The dragon with the scales, where you get weighed into the feather, right? The pen. Pen, feather. Pen means feather. Penis, penis. It comes from penis. It links to penis. And so does tail. If you look up the word penis, it literally comes from the word. It means tail. Like that's what the original stems from, is tail. So the pen, right? The pen is also prison, what we call prison. Somebody's in the pen. The slammer, you know. So a story is a tale,